Hi. Well, somehow I lost the footage of the last box that I made, and since I don't make two of the same thing ever, I'm going to redo this one. So the mask is really too big. It stands up way too high. So I'm just using a pre-made canvas. And I'm going to put that on here, and then eventually it will go on this box. However, I have to fill in the bottom part in order to make that work. So it's just a matter of putting cardboard in there and layering it so that it fills the gap, and I have lots of cardboard, but we'll do that as time goes on. This is what I'm going to put on the top. I have to cut cardboard to fit, but I also have to make this fit. So what I want to do is trim off some of this. Yeah, so see, now there's a little bit of stuff on this room on the side. This part here, I can actually dampen this and make it go flatter, and I may do that. This definitely has to be trimmed a little bit more. That can go down. That can go down. Okay. So see, there needs to be a cut right there. And remember, you're going to be filling this in. So it's a little better. Just manipulate it as much as you need to get it as flat as possible. I like this and this, and trim that off a little bit. And just keep working with it, manipulate it until it's the way you want it. This is good. This is good. You won't even see these marks, so once you get them down. Okay, this one here needs a little bit more. It might be too much there. Let's see. Starting to look good. It needs a little. It's just like when you're sewing and you have to make cuts, you know, to flatten something out. Same thing, same purpose. I think that's perfect. Right. I hope it fits. Yeah, I can see it. It's not great, but I can barely see it. That's all right. Alright, that's what I need. Just so I can see where it's at. I don't have to have anything bright and shiny, just a visual, if you can see that visual. And then if you can, I don't know if you can see the eyes, but I can see them. So that's all that matters. Okay, this, the thing about the ears is they stick past the, yeah. Okay, that works. Let me get some cardboard for the inside. Okay, what I did is I cut out a shape. You know, I just use this as a template. I cut out the shape, and then I will glue it to the cardboard. However, this has to be black, so I have to paint that, or I have to do something, you know, to keep it dark. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly paint it with some black. And I don't have to paint the whole thing, I only have to paint the center. There we go. And okay, where's my you won't really see up here, and you won't see any of this. It's just a visual for me, so that if I'm looking, then I can't see anything. So if I'm looking down up inside, I won't see anything other than black. That's the purpose of that. Okay, and as you can see, I kind of pushed in the center of the ear because it's they're different. They're not the same depth, and they stick out farther than the mask. So that just helps to do it that way. And once my glue gun, okay, I know I hit it. Maybe the battery, no, the battery's low. Doggone it. Hopefully that'll work. You do have options. You can shove stuff up in there, but I kind of like that opening, you know, where you can put something, and it could be just about anything. So this has to, shoot, now I got it on my mouse. Okay, shut that off. It's not cold yet, but it's pretty much glued together. Okay. This is cold. And the only reason I'm using a black one is because that is what I have. The other ones are bigger, and I don't want anything larger than this for this box. Now, you don't have to put this on here. You can just decorate the box. But I choose to have it more dimensional, so that's just where I want it. I just want to have this on top and then, you know, do something on the sides. So now I have to cut some cardboard to fit. It's nice and flat, and you'll never know it because it's going to be on the box anyway. Alright, so now I have, and if you look at this, it's not equal on both sides. It wasn't equal on both sides when I put it together. So, okay. That works. It really does work. So I'm done with the glue gun. Okay. All right, I'm going to stir this up really good. And I'm going to go ahead and this will all be painted, so don't worry about what it looks like. I actually want it to ooze out into the edge here. That's really what I want. Okay. Alright, so I do need a little bit of glue Didn't think about that. I did need it just a hair, just to keep it where I want it. That looks good. Okay. You could probably caulk the edges here that are standing up. You could probably put caulk in there. That would be my guess, but this is good enough for me. Or you could use some air dry clay to fill that in. I'm just going to do this. Once it's dry, it doesn't matter. You know, it'll be fine. You can go over this with a baby wipe as well to smooth it out, you know, to make it look good. And I have it a little bit off, as you can see. But that's what happens, and I'm not concerned about it. I could peel it off and start over, but I'd rather just leave it as is and work around it. And it's going to go under it. All right. So because it's a little narrower on that side, I'm just going to add a little bit of this modeling paste on the edge. Let's see, a little bit more. Just angle it down until you get the desired distance. And then it'll take a while to dry. Yeah, I think that's going to look just fine. And it will dry and it will be nice and textured. Which is what we want. We want texture. Right there, I want a little bit more there. And it will look cool when it's done, believe me. Alright, so this has to dry. It has to probably sit 24 hours. I don't think this is going to, with the amount that I've put on here, I don't think it'll dry today. I think it's going to take a while. So we're just going to Make sure every edge is sealed up like that. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing with this one. It will tell me what it wants to be as I'm working on it. I just want to show you what I'm doing with the jewelry that I just received. It is just absolutely awesome. I'm so excited. I really am happy that I can actually create something different. After a while, the jewelry that you have, after it's been picked over numerous times, the good stuff is gone, and then you're like, okay, so what next? I think that looks really pretty. Now, this is a very gorgeous piece of jewelry, but it was broken, and it would cost more to fix it than it actually cost, I think. So I decided it was just not worth fixing. I'd never wear it anyway. It wasn't something that I would wear. I like how that looks. I could do this. I don't think I like it there. I think I like it here. I think that's the best place for it. Anyway, it's hard to make a decision on something like this, but this is a piece of art. So far, if you were to buy each of these components, you would have about $50 worth, not including this or the mask or the frame, just the actual jewelry itself. This is costume jewelry, so it's not real expensive. Now, I think that was a wholesale price. I don't think that was the regular price, you know, the retail. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's just definitely not a cheap thing. I mean, people look at it and they go, oh, well, that's just junk jewelry. Yeah, it is. Because I'm breaking it apart, it becomes junk. But to be honest, it's all brand new. So it is, except for this piece here. But as you can see, it's in, you know, perfect condition other than the clasp was broken. So I'm not too concerned about, you know, that as far as the price goes. But I just want you to know, if you make any of these, you have to consider that if you decide to sell it. Now, I don't sell my work. I have an idea, a dream, and this fits into the dream, and if it works out, great. If not, then it wasn't meant to be. And that's as much as I can talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place these things, and then I will definitely go ahead and repaint after I'm done. You know, because you want this to all look, you don't want to see this stuff here. And you do want to have texture, so we're not worried about the texture part. But this one will be really gorgeous when it's done, for sure. I've been working with a lot of green lately, and I think it has to do with bringing in abundance. So I do like the emerald greens. I like the dark, jewel tone greens, but I'm not a big green fan. But I'm starting to like it. Just like blue. I was never good with blue. I never liked it, but I'm really loving it now. So there you go. Times change. Life changes. I really think this is going to be an exceptional piece when it's done. I'm almost sure I am not going to put this on that box. That was my original intent. But with this green, I don't think so. I think this needs to be on something else. And I will find something. So then this is the next piece I want to put up there. And you will go through a lot of this impasto. It has to have a lot of gel to adhere it. And then trying not to get it in the glue, the stones. Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge. There we go. All right. I am going to smooth out some of this just because I don't want it to dry opaque. I want it to be thin and translucent, transparent, whatever you want to call it. And then I also want to make sure that the edges are sealed. So just, if you ever do one of these, just make sure whatever you're using is transparent when it dries, otherwise you'll be very unhappy with it. Start with something small and insignificant that doesn't really matter, doesn't cost a lot of money. It's just something, so that could go there. It's green. Or I could put it right there. I might do that. I think I like it there better. Yeah. Okay, well, I will do that later after this dries. So now these look, one looks darker than the other. Okay, this one looks light, so I don't want to use two different colors. So it's been a few days, so I have to use my phone. All right, that's going to go in there. Much, much better. Okay. So I have to decide, do I want it to go like this, or do I want it to go the other way? I think I want it like that. Very gorgeous. It's okay to have the lighter stones mixed in, but not one on each end. That usually, stands out like a sore thumb. Okay. I want to make sure. Yeah, that'll be fine. I wanted to make sure that it was going to have enough of the paste. Okay, that looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, my computer is back up and running. This is what it looks like after a whole night. It did not dry clear, which is unusual, but that's okay. I'm going to repaint afterwards anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This is going to be a black cat called Emerald, and it is going to be beautiful no matter what. So I put this one up here. I think that is a perfect place for it. I have to come up with something to go under this. It's solid, but I just always try to come up with something that will support it, because you just never know what might happen in the future. I do have these green, there's some green ones here. These are just cheap craft jewels. I need to get some more. I pretty much used up all the green ones on another project that I will add below so that you can view it. This is something anyone can do. It just takes patience, and okay, here's a large one. Just takes a little patience, you know, to let things dry. And I think that one's smaller. If I don't have another big green one, that's okay. I'll just use the smaller one. Yeah, I'll need to buy some more of these for sure. I'll use this somewhere else, but I have plenty of this size, so this one is too yellow, kind of yellowish brown, so it doesn't matter. This will work. I can put it just about anywhere. I could do that maybe. Or I can do a rhinestone. I kind of like that look. But I think I need one of these, and I do have some somewhere in my junk. That looks nice like that. That looks really nice. That will support the bottom part for sure. I'm going to let that dry before I do anything with it. So I have these ready to go. So now it's a matter of making decisions on what other things I can add to it. I have chunky chain. This is a really nice piece, but it is not something that I will ever wear. And I'm not even sure these are popular anymore. I don't know. I could. Yeah, I could, but I won't. I have to find some other things to go on there. You know, stuff like this you can take these off and just use this part. Or you could glue, you know, put some glue here so it doesn't come apart. And then once the glue has dried, then you can cut them off, because then it won't do anything. So I have several of these, probably 10 of these, so I'll think on that. Okay, let me see what else I have. I can use more stars. I do like the stars. So I have the two large ones right there, so I could definitely, oh, I could put one there. I like that. So let's just take a few of these out. That would look nice. Okay, so I have two there, one there. So one there, I could do one there. I could put one in the corner there. That looks really nice. I think that's where I'm going to go with that. And these are plastic, so they're easy to cut. There we go. Let's go ahead and cut these all off. Go. And I'll put one on. Oh, I didn't do that one. Okay, I thought I did. And hopefully it is close enough in looks pretty good. I'll measure it before I'm done. And this one goes up there. Did I want that one up there, or did I think I wanted them down here. Yeah, that's where I wanted these. Usually what I do is take a picture if I'm doing multiple things so that I remember what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty good. I'm not going to do anything with this part here. I'm not sure what I want to do with this. I do want to put something there. And I think I want chain. I just have to figure out what chain I want to use. This is really pretty. I like the style of the chain. It's easy to glue. So I may, they're all different lengths. I could cut that one off. Let's see. Cut them off the same length. Okay. All right. So I could make like, well, these would make nice whiskers. I can't do a whole lot of whiskers, but I could make. Well, that looks really nice, except this is too long now, but that's all right. I could cut this one in half. There's half. That would be perfect, actually. So let's do that. Cut this one in half. Then I can cut the other one and make it just a tad longer for the center part if I want. Okay, there we go. See, that one's just a little longer, so is this one. So it's fine. It is fine. Now you can use this, or you can use, you know, a thick glue, but I like using this. I want the texture anyway, so. There we go. And I'll go ahead and get that on there. Looking good. Okay, let me get a pair of tweezers. Fingers work so much better. Okay, that's a longer one. We'll do that one. Get it there and put it in place. Yeah, there we go. We have whiskers. Oops. Okay, kitties have whiskers. That one needs to be out a little. Like that. This one also needs to be out. There we go. And then this one will go closer to. And if they're not exactly, you know, perfect, it's really not an issue because this is not meant to be perfection. Okay, so I can put a smaller one on the bottom, or I can make it go down, but I'm going to wait until those dry and then I can revisit that, because then I may want to do a long one there. But right now it's looking pretty darn good. All right. This I want to smooth out just a little bit because when it's a sharp edge like that, you don't really want it to be. Okay. Same with that one. I didn't even think about that one when I was doing it. So here we go. Just remember, when you're doing these, it looks ugly until you're ready to finish. It just is what it is. What I will have to do is I will have to paint the black over it, which is fine. Just keep that in mind. And then you can use all different kinds of inks if you want. Okay, I am getting ready to edit. I saved all the videos. And the one where I actually finished this one is not there because apparently the cell phone shut off and I didn't know it. So that's okay. I can explain exactly what I did. Now, at the end of the last frame of the video, the actual video that ended, how I was putting it together, we'll show white impasto, which is gel paste, right here. You'll see that, and all of this is not there. So it's real simple. Everything that I showed in the video previously is the same process for everything that you do. Now, if you want everything to be smooth, then you're going to smooth everything out, obviously. I like the texture because with the texture, it really gives it a lot of dimension, and it really lets it come to life, in my opinion. You know, that's just my style, and this is the way I do it. So in that video, these were not there. The flowers were not there. This wasn't there. The square gems were not there. These I put in for support. They were not there. So if you look at it, you'll be able to see the things that I actually added before you're looking at this. So while I'm adding these pieces, I am allowing those sections of the gel to be clumpy, bumpy, whatever you want to call it. And I'll take my brush and I will smooth out what I want and then leave the rest as texture. So you can see the texture here and here. You'll see the texture here. It's quite rough. But that's my intention, to keep it that way, because, you know, hair isn't smooth. It has a roughness to it. Now, of course, this is a mask, so it already has some roughness. It's not completely smooth anyway. So, but you need something to allow the rub and buff to hook to and give it that textured look. You know, that's what I've done here. Once everything is glued in place, and I just do one side at a time, I balance it out because that's what I like. If you don't like it to be balanced, you don't have to. There's no right or wrong in doing this type of thing. Mixed media is just what it is. You mix it up and do it any way you like. So anyway, once it is completely dry overnight, or 24 hours, it depends on how much of the gel you have. It's usually about 12 hours is good for you to continue working. It is not cured by any means. So once it is dry enough that you can go in and paint over it, then any places that need touch up with your paint, whatever your background paint is, I use house paint because it has a built-in sealer, and it is, it's sealed. It's not like craft paint. You can seal it with something if you want, but I like this because it has some that's flat. This was flat black, and then the rub and buff is shiny, so it gives it that, it just gives it that look. So you have some dull spots and some shiny spots, and the rub and buff is going to pick up on all of the roughness that you've left behind. Some places are smoother than others, and that gives it another look, because when you look at your face, there's a shine in certain spots, so you kind of want to represent that. And then the other thing that I do is I go over each section with the black paint and immediately take a baby wipe and wipe it right off. And what that does is it gets down into the grooves, and it gives it some extra dimension. And it really does make this stuff shine even more, because it gives that drama in all of the places that would normally be shiny, but it adds drama to it. But that's how I make it. Now, this one was supposed to be on a cigar box, and once I did it, I really didn't want it on the cigar box. I think it's beautiful just the way it is, and it doesn't really need to be on anything. And so I hung it up on the wall to see if it looked great, and to me it looked really perfect. I really didn't want it on a box that would be sitting somewhere flat. On the wall was the best place. Now, this is only 8 by 8 inches. There is a lot going on in that small of a space. You can make this any size you want. It just depends on the border that you like. So you could actually mount this to something else, like a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, or put it in a frame. But I let each piece speak to me as to what it wants to be, and it just wants to be what it is. Now, if the person that gets this decides that they want to buy a frame for it, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But when you decide on a frame, you have to take into consideration that all of this stuff is right to the edge. And the reason it was to the edge was because my initial idea was to mount it on something, not in something. So if you're planning on putting it in a frame and keeping it in a frame, then you have to adjust what you do on the edges so that it fits inside the frame. Otherwise, it's not going to. So anyway, keep that in mind when you make one of these, if and when. And you don't have to use all jewelry. You can use gears. You can use bits and pieces from all kinds of stuff. I mean, there is no special type things that you can use. I made a very large, I think it was, 12 by 24, I think. I think it was 12 by 24 mixed media collage that had a fork, a knife, and a spoon in the center. And then I had all kinds of, I made some really pretty stuff with molds and, put it all together. And I gave that to my realtor. And, so I mean, it was really gorgeous when it got done. And I would like to make another one, so I probably will eventually. But anyway, I just wanted to show you and explain what I do to it at the end. Really, everything that I did up to this point, it's the same process. It's just a matter of adding things as you are finishing it and how I completed it. But I also wanted to let you know that I do use, you know, wall paint. And sometimes exterior paint, depending on if it's going to go outside. If it's inside, it's just regular inside house paint. But you can use outside. It doesn't matter. But that's a choice only you can make. And if you have a lot of craft paint, go for it. And then just decide how you're going to finish it. Because craft paint, depending on which one you use, could be permanent. And some of it isn't. Some of it I have had, you know, where it gets, sometimes the cheaper stuff will flake off in certain instances, but not very often. It's rare, but who wants to, you know, have to repaint it? But anyway, this is how it turned out, and I just want to say thank you for looking at the video, and thank you for commenting on the short that I made with it, and I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll enjoy more. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.